Well, welcome everyone. We're really excited to have you here. Every single month in the Asea VIP customer group, we try to bring a unique perspective to you. So something that you might not be aware of. I always tell people when you first learn about Asea, it's like seeing the tip of the iceberg. There is so much that we have our hands on and so much that this technology of Redox can do, but also Asea is a cellular health company. And so they really want to promote total and complete cellular health, which means that they started the Asea Via line, a line of nutritional products that can help essentially be the materials that the body needs, really good building blocks to work synergistically with our redox so that we can have total and complete cellular health. And I'm really excited this morning because we have two members of Asea's medical professional board joining us to have a conversation about this Asea Via. And I heard them speak in Nashville. There was a medical professionals board morning, and it was eye-opening for me to understand the power of the ingredients in some of these products and also the benefits that taking them will bring you. And so I asked both of them if they wouldn't mind coming together so we could have a discussion about LifeMax, about Omega, about Biome, about Source, and really give people some ideas about what are the ingredients in these products and how do they benefit us. So we have Dr. Maureen Hayes with us. She has been a medical doctor for more than 25 years. She's double board certified by the American Board of Anesthesiology in both general anesthesiology and pain management. She also is credentialed in age management medicine through the AMMEF, which is a mouthful, and certified in acupuncture by the Helms Medical Institute. So I absolutely love the perspective that Dr. Hayes has. And as she says, she is very excited about these products as a user of them and the benefits she's seen herself. And then we have Dr. Hoffman with us, who is a dear friend of mine, and she has been in the field of natural health for over 20 years. She is very familiar with nutrition, and she's board certified in as a traditional naturopathic doctor, and she is certified as a natural health professional, and of course is on Asea's medical board. And so these amazing women are gathered here this morning to give us some insight into this. And so I want to just kind of start out with some context. So, if someone takes Redox, if they're taking our Asea supplement, why do they need nutrition? What is the link here between Redox and nutrition?
Who's going to bat first, Maureen?
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Well, we frequently say, and those of you who listen to us at any time will know that we talk about materials and labor. We often do pictures in people's minds, blueprint of building a house, and that as a house site, you're going to deliver the materials to the job site. But if the laborers don't turn up, right, that work is not going to turn those materials into that house. And I love to just say that our cells are the same thing, right? They're the blueprint of who we are. We want to build healthy cells, and we need the materials to do that. And very often, I think one of the challenges is that people do consume a lot of materials. They'll be taking a lot of supplements. I've had people come in with great big carrier bags full into my office, sometimes with 30 and 40 supplements, and we're trying to work out which ones are actually of any benefit to them at all. And I know that if you're on this call and that's where you've been, and now you're exploring the redox piece, the cool piece about that is you're now supplying the labor. And by supplying the labor, we often talk about things like light bulbs and light switches, right? The light bulbs would be the material. The light switches and the electrical supply to get action is the redox. And so you're probably going to find that whatever supplements you're already consuming, if it's not the Asea Via line, it is still going to empower the uptake and the utilization of those materials. So it's materials and labor.
I love that analogy. And it's so funny when you said people are consuming a lot of materials. I'm thinking Big Macs, not like a bag full of supplements. So you are what you eat, or like we say, what you absorb. I also use the analogy of a vehicle. We all have cars, and it's interesting to me how we take care of our cars. You can get a new car. People are trading them in every, maybe 2 up to 10 years. But we don't expect a car to last a lifetime like the other vehicle that we're in charge of. And so if you think in terms of a car or a vehicle, you've got your engine and then you've got your gas tank. right? So the foods that we're eating, the nutrition that we ingest is good fuel or bad fuel going into the tank. But if that engine doesn't turn on, you're not going anywhere. So where the redox works is kind of in the engine of the cell, if you will, whereas everything else that we're ingesting, those supplements, our good food, clean water, whatever, is going into the gas tank. So you still have to have both of those, because as great as the redox product is, it has no nutritional value. That's not its job. So you have to combine the two.
Perfect. Amazing perspective. And I think that kind of sets the tone for things. And I wanted to show you all, I don't know if many people are aware, in your back office. So for those of you that are preferred customers and those of you that are associates, both of you have a back office. And there is a lot of information there. And I want to just show you, for the associates out there, your back office is going to look similar to mine. If you go in, you're going to be able to see that under the menu, there's a resource option and there's a library. And in that library, there's all sorts of information. But if you go to the product section, you're going to see product information pages. All right. So the Asea Via Omega has a product information page. The Asea Via Life Max, Biome, and Source. And so what we are going to do is we're going to start talking about Source. And this is a product that, I mean, I love. I didn't understand it at the beginning. And so I would love for Dr. Hayes or Dr. Hoffman, let me know if you want me to keep this up as you discuss things. But could you talk to us about, what are the ingredients in this product? Why is this something that we would be interested in taking?
Where do we want to go, Maureen?
Carolyn, this was your baby, wasn't it, on stage? So
it was my baby, that's for certain. Yes. So what do we think of Source as doing? Well, if you look at the title, it says whole food micronutrient supplement. And as Maureen mentioned, right, we need good food, and we are a lot more than simply what we eat. We are very much what we assimilate, and that is the big hurdle for most people. The great thing to understand about this particular product is that we as human beings are only meant to consume foods, right? We're not meant to consume synthetic versions of foods. And that is a challenge for our body, because when people buy cheap products, particularly, or not well sourced products, they may be putting in a lot of information into the system, because that's what that looks like to the body, that the body doesn't really know how to handle. I love the fact that what we have is this incredibly complex and intense way of delivering a broad band of foods and nutrients and minerals and oils and enzymes that are absolutely necessary for the breadth of what we require. I think I made the point, at the convention, that in this day and age, one of the challenges is that we don't eat very broad diets. Most people are pretty limited actually in the things that they consume, and the breadth of diets and the rotational foods and all of the things that people used to do much more in the past actually provided us with the kind of complexity of nutrients that we need. Here you have, and you might want to kind of scroll down a little bit on that. So we have all these things, that's great. And those are the ways in which Source is unique. But, go down a little further. It's kind of hard when you're not controlling the screen. Let's kind of pop down there to the supplement field facts. And so what you're going to see on the right-hand side is an example of how they have piled in this enormous breadth of foundational food for the body. There is just no way that we can eat enough food and the breadth of food and the quality of food on a daily basis to provide what we need, because diets as a whole have become very deficient. And so you have this beautiful, some of you might think of this as like your multivitamin, all right, because you'll see the list of the names of the vitamins here. But I want to point out some things. What you're seeing when in the brackets to the right of things like vitamin A and natural beta carotene and vitamin C, acerola cherry, All right, that is telling you the source of that vitamin. And the source of that vitamin is the food that has been used to provide that nutrient. So in other words, this is something that your body understands and it's going to be able to assimilate beautifully. And you've got this complete complex of all of those foundational vitamins that we need. It goes on further down, you'll start to see things like iodine, right, which is really going to support from kelp the thyroid base, the hormone base for the human body. You're looking at magnesium, absolutely essential for cardiovascular communication. I mean, that's a powering mineral that's necessary. It's one of those first minerals that drop off when we're stressed. And put your hands up if you have no stress. Right, the last 18 months has been stressful for everyone, so it's one of those first things that we see fall away. Zinc, really essential. There's been a lot of talk of zinc in the last 18 months as being essential because it's an immune protectant piece for us. But as you'll notice where it says certified organic whole food and seed vegetable blends, what you have here is this beautiful combination of both land and sea minerals. And understand the importance of minerals are that they enable your body to actually utilize the vitamins that come from the foods that you're consuming as well as the supplements. If you don't have minerals, and most people are pretty mineral deficient, you're really not going to get the outcome that you want from the foods that you're eating or the supplements that you take. So that's an important piece. And you'll see at the bottom there, it says Asea Via source complex. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enzymes incorporated in there. And they've been very strategic. They've covered how do we digest things like protein, that's the protease. How do we digest things like our carbohydrates? How do we digest fats in our diet? Who's got challenges with the gallbladder because that's where that piece is going to sit, right? How do we digest the sugars in the diet? And how do we support the overall function of absorbing not just this supplement, but the things that you're consuming? So I love the fact that what we're doing here is concentrating from this amazing source of organic whole foods, a lot of things that we're going to really fill in what we're missing on a daily basis, but in a beautiful way. I mean, Maureen, I don't know what you might like to talk about with
I love this product. It's so nutrient dense. I think there's 11 different juices that they combine. And it's funny because, you know, a lot of us are what we call lifelong learners. I love that. Dr. Carmen Keith always uses that terminology. And, you know, so I'm always looking at other things. I'm always looking at other supplements. And it's funny because I will find something that sounds absolutely impressive. And then I will take it and compare it to what we already have. And I'm always blown away because we're pretty humble about these nutritional products when they are really top notch. I think they just don't get the love they deserve. So if you're looking at this, number one, they're partially fermented. So like Dr. Hoffman was saying, they're more easily assimilated into the body. They're sourced from incredible areas, very nutrient dense, whole foods, so that you're getting everything with it instead of, you know, God didn't mean for us to eat vitamin C. He wanted us to have the whole orange, right? So it's an amazing product where you're getting, and like you said, Carolyn, the spirulina, the chlorella, the barley grass, the wheatgrass, the acai berry, all sorts of superfoods packed into 4 little capsules. And because it is whole foods, you can open them and put them in your smoothie if you don't want to swallow capsules. Put them on applesauce. You know, it's so versatile. So absolutely fantastic product. Thank you for going over it all, Carolyn.
Yeah, thank you both. You hit everything I wanted to know about it, which was, you know, what makes it a little bit different from other quote unquote multivitamins out there. You touched on that, the benefits to taking it. When I understood what was in this product, I just went, wow, this is a no-brainer. This is something that I want my body to have. And I was supplementing, you know, with these different things, putting different like spirulina, putting that kind of stuff in my smoothie. And then I went, wait a second, I'm getting it all in source. And I had no idea. So exciting. So I want to bounce over now to Biome. This is another favorite of mine. So Biome is a full spectrum probiotic, and that might not mean anything to some people. And so I would love it if you could speak to us about, you know, what is in Biome and what are the benefits to taking it?
You know, this is a huge area of science and medicine right now is the biome, the microbiome, the gut. Something that when I went to medical school, we didn't focus on very much, but we have learned so much probably in the last decade or so about how the gut influences everything, including our thoughts, including weight, different things like that. It's, the bacteria in our gut actually have domain over everything. There's many, many more genes in the bacteria in our gut than there are in our human genome. So it's absolutely amazing, and it's imperative to take care of your gut. What I love about this product is that it has 16 beneficial strands of bacteria in it, but in a fairly low colony count. It's still like 2.3 billion colonies, which sounds like a lot, but a lot of products will tout how many colonies, how many billions are in there. It also has what we call prebiotics. The bacteria are probiotics. The food that feeds the bacteria are called prebiotics. So they're getting food in there. So it's going to help them to stay healthy, the bacteria stay healthy and repopulate. It also has something called slippery elm, which is a biofilm that helps to coat the intestine and keeps the bacteria in there longer. Now, the reason why all of these things are important is because one of the reasons a lot of people don't stick with probiotics is they cause distension, gas, bloating, discomfort. You might announce every step you're taking while you're walking down the hall. People don't like that, so they're not going to stay with it. They're not going to be consistent. This is very gentle. Most people have no problems with it whatsoever. Sometimes if you have a little bit of distress, I say take it at night, that way it's not going to be as noticeable. But I really haven't had anybody, and Carolyn, you can speak to this, haven't had anybody complain about that. What we do hear over and over again is that it's life-changing as far as helping people to be regular, helping them have more robust bowel movements, and just feeling better overall. People love this product. This one is a hit, and everybody needs to be on a good probiotic. Those bacteria are incredibly important. So Carolyn, go ahead and take it over.
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback off of what you were saying there. I think sometimes people mistake gentle as less effective, right? And that colony forming unit thing that people love to think of, like, well, I want to take a product that's got 50 billion in there, and then really, that's like having, the Panzer division coming into your system instead of actually just, one key person doing a job. So it doesn't mean, there's a lot of misunderstanding also about how testing is done in probiotic formulations. So sometimes they can have these big numbers, but in fact it's actually because they put something else in there that triggers activity that makes them look like they have. So they're not really necessarily true to the numbers that they're doing. I love this piece because also what we need to think about is that that gut, we've got this amazing gut-brain connection piece. And if you've got this disruption in the gut, we know that you've got disruption in serotonin. We know you're going to have disruption in the brain, because I know, like everybody loves to say, it's the second brain. Coming from my perspective of doing gut brain work for many, many, many years, it's the first brain, right? Because think about how sick you feel when your gut is off. Right? Or when you feel nauseated, it affects everything. And so it's talking to the brain all the time. The brain's reading the information and then it's acting upon it. So this is a really good product. And also the breadth of the probiotic strains affects so many things. I mean, I did some research to look at, what is the science behind each of these probiotic strains and all of the multiple parts of organ systems that they support. It's incredibly complex.
Sorry, I was unmuted there. Thanks for that perspective. And I'm wondering, it says to take 3 capsules. Is that pretty standard? Age, weight, whatever. It's just do what's on the bottle. Someone in the chat asked a little bit about how to know how much to take.
I think you have to adjust that to whatever makes you feel comfortable. I mean, again, we're all unique. Just because there's a label, that's a guideline. Some people may do well on just one. And I think you just have to pay attention to what works for you. 3 may be too many for some people. They may not need that. Remember, it depends upon the state of your gut. I love it at night because if we haven't eaten for 2 hours, and we have the slippery elm to help it. You've got a longer period where there's less that's going on in the gut in terms of digesting other food, and that's my recommendation is nighttime, but for some people it might work better in the morning as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, that actually reminds me, I want to show you all inside of the Asea VIP customer group. Let me just navigate back to be at home here. So inside of this group, Dr. Hoffman answered a lot of, or it's not navigating. All right, give me a second. A lot of questions specific to each of the products. And I think it's kind of one of these things that a lot of people miss. So inside of the guides in the Asea VIP customer group, if you scroll down, there's FAQs about the liquid in guide 2. There's how to use it, the gel in guide 3. There's FAQs about the how to use the gel and common questions about the gel in guide 4. But in guide 5, there's all of these. If you're struggling to see what I'm showing on the screen, you can pull this up right here in the VIP group, okay? The source, biome, omega, and LifeMax. These are the exact PDFs that I have pulled up today. And then there's this FAQ section where Dr. Hoffman answered some common questions that people have about these products. So if your question doesn't get answered, explore here. There's almost 20 videos on here. I don't know why Vimeo has now made the thumbnails look like this, so I apologize for that. But there's a lot of resources here I just wanted to point out to you all, and I wanted you to pull up here the PDF if you can't see exactly what I have up on my screen. So I want to transition now to talking about LifeMax. This is a product that I did not understand. When it first came out, it was kind of like white noise to me. I was like, I don't get what this is. Like, I take source, I'm good. So can you explain to us, like, what are the ingredients in LifeMax that make it so unique and so powerful? Because now it's like my favorite. And talk to us about some of the benefits of taking LifeMax.
I love this. I spoke about this one in Nashville, and it was interesting because I chose this one because, like you, Danielle, it was probably the one that I understood the least. And so I was like, I want to do a deep dive into this and why we have it. It's for, just like the name says, LifeMax, it's for vitality and longevity. So things that everybody is interested in. It's got 16 unique ingredients in it that are well known. A lot of them are well known in traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, have been studied for a long time. Things that you may be familiar with, like green tea extract, bilberry, which is so good for the eyes, turmeric, which is fantastic for inflammation in the body, selenium, which you also saw in the source, a mineral that a lot of us are a little deficient in. And also things like medicinal mushrooms. There's 5 different strains of mushrooms in there. Some that you're familiar with, like cordyceps, reishi, maitake, lion's mane. And there's another one called agaricus blizé, which I had not heard of. But these kind of run the course. These hit all sorts of things, like everything from cardiovascular health, healthy cell division, metabolism, blood sugar stabilization, detoxification, inflammation in the body, and anti-aging. So, and also memory. There's a lot of things in there that have to do with cognition and memory. So it addresses a number of things, excuse me, that bother us as we get older. What we're used to is seeing older people with more degeneration and more diseases than we do younger people. We never really stop. We just figure they're older, they're going to be sicker. But a lot of this has to do with chronic inflammation that goes on through the body, through life. And so we see some things affecting people as we get older. Well, you know what? We're all going to get older. Hopefully, we're all going to live these long lives. But that aging process, or the diseases of aging, are somewhat optional. So, if you're taking something that addresses these, and the great thing about this is that there's so much cross reactivity between them. There's a lot of overlap. So there's a number of things that have to do with eyesight. There's a number of things that have to do with cardiovascular health or cognition and memory. And then they've thrown in some amazing products, some proprietary blends. Like they have French cantaloupe, which is very high in SOD, which is one of the master antioxidants. They also have pomegranate oil, which is in a couple of our products, which is extremely a wonderful antioxidant, also very good for the skin, has a whole bunch of health benefits to it, as you know, for people who are out there drinking palm all the time. Then they have something called astragalus that they have combined with gotu kola. These two things together help to increase the collagen in the skin and the hyaluronic acid. People are paying huge amounts of money to, have fillers and all sorts of things to kind of plump up the skin, make the skin more youthful. But astragalus by itself has 27 different health benefits to it. And it's interesting, when I got this product and I started researching each of the individual ingredients and kind of going in to look at studies that have been done on each one of them, I kept texting Gina Anson, who is in charge of our medical board, and saying, this is an unbelievable product. I can't believe they've taken all of these things, and most of them are in extract form, and they put them into these little capsules, 3 little capsules that we take a day that are just so chock full of things that are great for keeping things from happening, promoting healthy things in the body, helping us to look and feel younger, and so incredibly energetic in the cells. I actually, if you were at Nashville, I made a chart, and I wish I had put it up here, and Danielle, wish I thought of it, but I went and I kind of made X's. I had like cardiovascular health, metabolism, healthy cell division, inflammation, memory and cognition, mood stabilization also, longevity, anti-inflammatory. And I made X's of what did what. And there were so many benefits to each one of these different ingredients that they put in there. It was absolutely amazing. And I will tell you what, I have everybody, if you're on my team, if you're in my family, I'm talking about this, and I'm adding it to your auto ship because this is an incredibly important. They're all important. These are all basic products that are going to address our health and address our nutritional needs. But this one, I call it the piece de resistance. This is an amazing product, an amazing add-on. And you guys, there's whole companies that are based on just one ingredient in here, reishi mushrooms. So just incredible. So I love this. Incredibly antioxidant production in here, lots of antioxidants. And I just can't say enough good about it. Carolyn, you want to throw something in there?
I'm going to leave that there. There's loads I could add to it, but I know that we've got one more we want to get to, and we're coming towards the bottom of the hour. So yeah, you've got great points there on all of that.
Perfect. All right. So I want to now wrap up with the Asea Via Omega. And let me get that pulled up over here for you all. So can you talk to us about what is in, where are these omegas sourced from, and what are the benefits of taking an omega product?
Absolutely. So we have a combination here of 3, 5, and 7, omegas 3, 5s, and 7, which is kind of unusual. You don't always see the 5s and 7s in product. 3s are very common. It is sourced up in the North Atlantic area. It does come from fish, so this one is not a vegan product. And the reason that they chose to find a renewable source of fish that provided it was, as opposed to the krill, is because the krill is the source of the food for fish. So we chose ethically not to actually diminish the food source for the fish, but actually go to the fish itself. I love this product. I've had great experiences with the benefits for brain injury when my daughter managed to fall headlong down a big flight of stairs and hit her head on concrete. And I happen to have been doing a bunch of research on omegas as a whole because I think this product had just come out. I was looking at studies that they were doing at Harvard of protective benefits for omega-3s for pre and post brain injury as a whole. And so we got her on very high doses of this, and she had a remarkable recovery in a very quick time and much faster than I'd seen, from previous other injuries. Why do we need them? Well, we need them because our diets as a whole and the oils that are on the market really overpopulate omega-6s in our body. And they provide this huge inflammatory signaling mechanism that's going on. So we get a lot of damage. Because we are unlikely to be eating and consuming enough omega-3s, even if you're eating a lot of fish and eggs and chia seeds and things like this, the balance has changed over time. Notions should be that we should have 1 omega-6 to 1 omega-3 in our diet. Maybe 2 to 1.5 is the kind of range that they say should be the max. But the truth is, what they're actually seeing in studies is that it could be anything from 20 omega-6s to 1 omega-3 and up to 30 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. So it's really impossible to get what we need to offset the balance of inflammatory regulation that's going on with omega-6s. And so it's become essential, just like multivitamins and putting those nutrients in years ago might have been essential, that, we're now in the realm of we all need omegas. We need it for cardiovascular health, for protecting our brain and regenerating. We need it for, offsetting the challenges with inflammation and so many other things. So I love the fact that what we have here is, this combination of omegas, and they're beautifully sourced. Not only do they get them from the fish, but they actually start to extract the oil immediately. And so you have all of these protections within the production mechanism that mean that we have this low fishy taste, right? What are the things people hate, right? This Totox thing that we call it's just a way they regulate how fishy the omegas could be. And you may have had a product that really gives you this awful aftertaste. The one thing you're going to love about this is we are so low on our fishy aftertaste, right, that probably you're not even going to notice it at all. And so that is a wonderful reason to be able to use this. Again, if you don't like capsules, you can do the same with the other one, break it open, put it into, applesauce and make it consumable that way. We have these wonderful other things that add in there as well, with things like the pomegranate and the sea buckthorn. I mean, sea buckthorn's phenomenal just in itself for all of the antioxidant benefits. I mean, it's just huge. We could do a whole class on just that in its, as a product. But pomegranate seed oil, again, highly anti-inflammatory, a superfood, brings a lot to the table. Astaxanthin has something like 6,000 times the antioxidant benefits of vitamin C, for example. So, you've got a power pack point here that's all going to support how do we maintain and reduce the level of inflammation that's going on that populates across the whole body and causes challenges with every known disease that we have. And how do we actually rebuild? And we know that even if you've got trauma from brain injury or concussion, high doses, and I will tell you, when I say high doses, clinically they're looking at 4 to 8 grams a day. All right, and that was levels. I actually put my daughter on 8 capsules a day when she got her brain injury, and within 2 weeks it was an entirely different outcome. But they're looking at very high doses, but they are saying for most of us that we actually really need, if we want to stay much healthier and offset, if we know we've got a lot of inflammation in our body, we need as much as 1 to 2 grams a day on a regular basis. So that's much higher than the simple 2 capsules that you're going to see. And there's a big difference between what we take just as a baseline and what we do for therapeutic benefit. Those two don't sit in the same space at all. But when you're dealing with whole foods, I want to just circuit back to everything that we have. When you deal with whole foods, you are in a better place to be able to add more of these to your diet than maybe just the foundational benefit. If you find that you get a better outcome with a larger quantity of something, then you can't do that when you're using synthetic supplements, because those can really cause problems. So I know that we're kind of running short on time here, Danielle.
Okay. Dr. Hayes, did you want to add anything about omega?
I thought Carolyn did a great job. I love this product. Like she was saying, it doesn't taste fishy, and people are not going to continue to take something that they don't like or doesn't make them feel good. And this product is amazing. It's so fresh. And the sea buckthorn, it's so funny because I used to take that because it has great, great properties for hair and skin too. So it's so amazing how nutrient dense these are and how many benefits we get from each individual thing. These are such thoughtful products. It just blows me away. They could have just put the omega-3 in there, right? But we have the 5 and 7 as well, and the pomegranate and the sea buckthorn. Just amazing. I just love what the lengths they've gone to make such high quality products.
Yeah. Asea definitely, when they say they're a cellular health company, they want to be top notch in every piece that they do. So I've seen a lot of questions coming in the chat. Today is not like an open Q&A forum. It was really about the ingredients and the benefits. I want to point you again to guide 6 in the VIP customer group. There is a lot of fabulous information, and probably the questions that you're asking are answered here. So please scroll through there, like information on, can a kid take it, or how much should I take, that kind of thing. So I'm going to stop my share now, and we'll just wrap up. Any last comments from either one of you about Asea Via before we say goodbye to everybody?
Just amazing products. I mean, safe, whole food, organic, vegan, gluten-free. I mean, everything that you want in a product line. And if we had time to talk about the sourcing and the manufacturing piece, there are levels to this that would blow your mind with what they do in terms of standardization and checking as the product is chosen. And they've been very fussy about where we find the products, where we get the materials. You can't just go get alfalfa from any old place, right? If you really want to know that that's going to be nutrient dense food, it's not an equal playing field. And they've been very, very careful about that piece too.
I love that you bring it up. It's like the mushrooms, they grow the mushrooms on purple corn. And this is important because the mushrooms actually absorb their nutrients from what they're growing on. So they're extremely nutrient dense mushrooms. I mean, that's the level that they go to. And just like you were saying with the wild caught fish, those fish, you can get omega-3s from farm fish, but who knows what they're eating. Those natural fish, those wild caught fish are eating algae in the waters. They're getting great nutrients from their food. So yeah, you guys, these products, in my opinion, don't get enough love. So get out there, get people on them. They're going to get a bigger bang for the buck from their Redox products because these things go hand in hand. So Danielle, thank you for letting us come on and share. I always learned so much from Dr. Hoffman, and I really feel honored to come on because I just love these products and just love for people to get on them. So thank you.
Thanks, Danielle, for all you do. I know you put a lot of time into, we did a lot of work on those videos, so do go use them. Everyone, they're always there for you.
Absolutely. I learned more this morning. I mean, these products really, as you said, they don't get enough love. I think because we're so excited about this breakthrough that we have with Redox, but there's so much more on offer and how you can help your health even more. So if you have questions, head to the VIP group. You can post questions in the Asea VIP group, and the community there will help respond to them. So we want to make sure that everyone is plugged in and supported. We hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you both for all of your time this morning, for sharing your knowledge with us, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Bye, everyone.